Hello and welcome back to the most amazing channel on the internet. I am your host, Miss Rebecca Jane Felgate, and we are back once again for the Renegade Master with a series that you guys seem to be loving, and I am loving it too. We have the top 10 mysterious people in history, part 5. Blimey, you guys can't get enough. You crazy. Before we get into this list, I really want to know more about you. Say we fast forwarded 100 years to when we're all dead and done. What do you want to be remembered for? What do you want your legacy to be? I want to be a writer, a thought provoker, and of course the next Doctor Who assistant. Can we make that happen yet? I'm quite serious. Is it time for us to start bombarding the BBC with demands? I think maybe. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Also, if you like our videos, please do hit that thumbs up button. Share this video with a friend that likes history and mystery. Stick around to the end because I'm going to be replying to comments, and why not check out our description box for source links and our most amazing Instagrams. Alright, coming in at number 10 we have the Prince of Silence. Meet William John Cavendish Scott Bentnick. He lived between 1800 and 1879. Sorry, you want his proper title? That's William John Cavendish Scott Bentnick, the Marquis of Titchfield and the 5th Duke of Portland. However, he liked to be known as the Prince of Silence, but we're just gonna call him William. William was rumoured to be disfigured, although in reality he may have just hated being around people. The only person who was allowed to see him was his valet and chauffeur, and even then he shielded his face. If his staff ever saw him, they were instructed to ignore him. He did not want to talk. They were also bound to silence over his appearance. Oddly, he built a giant roller skating ring for his staff. He was also said to have built 15 miles of underground tunnels that allowed him to move around undetected. I honestly feel like rich people get to be eccentric, whereas poor people just didn't have enough time in the day to be quirky. They just had to get stuff done and survive. Coming in at number 9 we have the man who couldn't stop eating. Honestly, my first thought was like, I feel you sir, but after reading about this French peasant boy known as Tarare, I actually think that, really, I'm not that hungry. So it seems that Tarare was rejected by his parents after they found out that he was eating them out of house and home. Literally. Then he was going out of the house and eating all of the animal feed too. He also smelled bad, like really bad. He travelled to Paris and drew a crowd by eating live animals and large stones, but when the revolution began, he became a soldier where he required quadruple rations and ate stray cats. Ugh. He became a spy as his general saw his unusual skill, and he was tasked by delivering military messages and secrets by smuggling them in his mouth. He was caught, he betrayed his general, he was savagely beaten, and he ended up in hospital. What did he do there? He started eating dead people and drinking blood. It is rumoured that he ate a baby, but he very strongly refutes it. It all got too much for him, and eventually he died of a ruptured intestine aged 27. When the autopsy happened, the surgeons had to stop midway because he smelled so bad. If you thought that was gross, our next mysterious human story is very strange and very gross indeed. We're talking about Gloria Ramirez, aka the Toxic Woman, at number 8. Gloria Ramirez's life isn't the mystery here, it's her death. Up until the age of 31, she seemed like a happy and healthy young woman. That was until the evening of February the 19th, 1994, when she was admitted to hospital in Riverside, California. She was experiencing a rapid heart rate, a drop in blood pressure, and could not form normal sentences. Doctors tried to save her, but she started admitting a garlic smell, and when her blood was taken, it had weird light brown particles in it and smelled like ammonia. At odds with these symptoms, it was discovered that she had cervical cancer, which is extremely bizarre. Nurses tried to work on her to save her, but one by one they started to faint. Others experienced inexplicable paralysis. When her autopsy was conducted, it had to be done by doctors in hazmat suits to protect themselves. What was going on? Honestly, we don't know. Coming into number 7 we have the people of Easter Island. What happened to the people of Easter Island? You know Easter Island, right? The big remote island in the middle of the Pacific, the one with all the big stone heads. See? This island used to be the home to an ancient civilization that died under very mysterious circumstances. On the island, artifacts, wooden tablets, and the like were discovered with strange undeciphered writing on it. Now the language has been given the, in my opinion, awesome name of Ronga Rongo. The writing is a series of glyphs, which is like a symbol kind of writing. There have been many attempts to crack the code, but so far they have been unsuccessful. It's thought that the language is a special and rare case of an independent invention of human writing, which is really cool. If the Rongo language is ever translated, it could reveal the scary secret of how the people of Easter Island died, but for now, it's a mystery. Coming into number 6, we have the Spaceman. Look at this photo. Do you recognize it? It is one of the most famous photos of the 20th century. This photo was taken on a family outing to a beautiful part of the northern English countryside. The photographer was Carlisle fireman Jim Templeton, who took a picture of his daughter. Only when he got it developed, there was an unlikely photobomber, a NASA spacesuit wearing cosmonaut. What a cosmonaut was doing in Stowaway in the British countryside, we don't know. The Templetons were baffled, and soon the media picked up on the mystery figure. The family claimed that there was absolutely nobody else around when the picture was taken. Also, it actually really does look like a spacesuit, doesn't it? Film company Kodak offered a reward to anyone who could prove that the photo was faked, but absolutely nobody could. So who's the mystery spaceman? Again, we don't know. Ooh, I like this one at number 5. We have Banksy. I am always here for a bit of Banksy, absolutely always. Banksy is a guerrilla artist who creates his work as graffiti in urban spaces. Banksy is known for his political messages. For example, he has depicted rioters throwing flowers rather than grenades, a naked man on the wall of a sexual health clinic, and he's got his famous paintings, or graffiti paintings, the balloon girl and the bomb hugger. It's powerful stuff. It's presumed that Banksy is from Bristol in England, as that is where the art started, but his artworks have appeared across the world. There's even one in Toronto actually. Despite living in the age of CCTV, Banksy's identity has never been discovered. Also, we're so busy saying he and his regarding Banksy, but I guess he could very well be a woman. I kinda hope so. Have you guys noticed that when we create lists like this, there are more men than women? I think that's because while women's stories are told, and they definitely did have adventures and stories, history is saturated with stories from the perspective of the patriarchy. Prove me wrong. Speaking of unidentified people in famous photographs, we have the Man of Tiananmen Square at number 4. This is one of the most important images of all time. This image is of an unidentified Chinese man who stood in front of a number of big ass tanks as the Chinese government rolled out of Tiananmen Square, having suppressed protesters by force. The man holding shopping bags stood in front of the tanks, stopping them in their path in a simple and powerful act of resistance. The moment was captured by photographer Jim Widener and became a symbol of protest across the world. We don't know who the man who stopped the tanks was, or what happened to him after this image was taken. It's likely that he was killed, in which case he will never have known what an impact his actions had. Coming into number 3, we have the Salem witches. Here be witches. The Salem witch trials were one of the weirdest moments in history. Occult hysteria swept over the town of Salem in Massachusetts as 19 people were convicted of witchcraft and killed in 1692, with hundreds of others accused or afflicted with hysteria. So, what was going on? Why were 14 women and 5 men considered to be witches? Why was colonial North America in general obsessed with witches back then? The short answer is probably religious fear and possibly poisoned bread, but the long answer involves many shades of we just don't know. Okay, this is one for my fellow Harry Potter lovers. You know that I'm the Slytherin queen. We have Nicholas Flamel at number 2. Hello there, Nick. Mate, Nicholas Flamel was real. Not totally in the way that J.K. Rowling claimed, no, but his character in The Philosopher's Stone was based on a real man. This real man just so happened to be considered to be immortal. Flamel was a French alchemist, which is basically like a potion master. He was the OG Snape. He wrote mysterious books filled with very strange symbols that people believed discussed a magic life-prolonging stone. Sound familiar? It seems that even though Flamel died in 1417, books that sounded very much as if they were written by him cropped up hundreds of years into the future. Finally, coming into number 1, we have Helen of Troy. This woman gets a bad rep, and that is arguably because her story is told by an assortment of jilted men and not from her own perspective. Helen of Troy was said to be the most beautiful woman in the world, and oddly, she's painted both as a hero on the one hand and as a whore on the other, which I mean. Helen Helen of Troy was heir to the Greek kingdom of Sparta, and it was said that she was the spark that lit the Trojan War. So who was she? How did she make her way into so many history books and works of literature? What made her so beautiful? And did she really spark one of the most epic wars of all time? Some even claim that she was the daughter of the god Zeus, yet she seemed to be a real person. This is all very confusing, but as she died thousands upon thousands of years ago, we're likely to never be able to detangle fact from fiction and know more about who she really was. So guys, that is the end of that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Once again, please do let me know what you want to be remembered for in history. I think it's an important discussion, and let's just, earmark our pages in the history books now. Before I go, I'm gonna read some comments from the top 10 scary occurrences that happened at the real life Conjuring house. Vera Muser said, I love watching Most Amazing Top 10 videos, especially with our Slytherin queen Rebecca Felgate. I wouldn't mind an Amityville top 10, but preferably when I'm not watching by myself, even I have limits. Friend, imagine how I feel having to script them, I'm so scared at all times. Whitdog What's Up said, seeing the backdrop through the lighter panels of your shirt kinda makes you look ghostly. Aha, most amazing video as always, much love. I like feeling ghostly, so yeah, maybe that's what's happening, and here's my ghost dance for you. Ooh. And I feel like I'm not even gonna end this video by telling you to like and share and check out our Instagrams and stuff. I'm just gonna do a ghostly disappear away. Away I slide. Ooh, bye.